So today we're going to be talking a little bit about our roles and how they've changed during the COVID-19 pandemic. A lot of times that we're working from home or having to interact with our family, those roles have changed in ways that we're not used to, and it can create a lot of stressors that we may have trouble coping with. So today we have Nikita. She's a mental health peer specialist. She's not just a mental health professional, but she's also a mother, a spouse, a sister, a caregiver, and all these other roles that she has to manage and balance throughout her everyday life, just like the rest of us. So I think it'd be really important if we talked a little about how we can manage those roles, maybe balance them, and some coping tips, what we can do. So Nikita, how have you been doing during this pandemic? How has your mental health been doing?
It's been up and down. I've been doing okay. Some days are better than others. And so it's really important for me to understand the signs of when I'm starting to feel distressed and um, take action quickly before it turns into dread or really goes down like a landslide, slippery slope.
Right. Yeah, and I kind of feel the same way. It's just there are days where I'm feeling great and productive, and there are some days I'm just, I just know that I have to take a moment for myself,
Definitely.
and just having to understand, okay, I need to take a moment here for work and a moment here for myself, and just learning how to balance all that. So, how has the quarantine changed your roles, and how have you dealt with that?
Well, it's definitely overwhelming because now my home has become my workspace, my home life. I'm raising my son here. I'm cooking here, cleaning here, relaxing here, and feeling the stress of deadlines and work or responsibilities. And so I've really had to delegate and call upon my spouse and communicate that the little things I need, things being picked up after yourselves, like this is my workspace as well as along with our family communal area. So I need somewhat clutter to be clear. I need surfaces to be um, level so I can have that piece of my mind, piece of my view. Dishes being moved in and out. That's meals are on the go, quick. Um, so trying to work on my communication skills, figuring out what my needs are. So uh, first, something we mentioned in our support groups, we talk about all the time. If we're feeling triggered or down, first ask yourself, what are your physical needs? Are you tired? Are you hungry? Are you thirsty? Getting those needs met first before thinking about what else has triggered you. Um, and
Okay.
so um, also connecting with folks, knowing and remembering that whatever I am feeling, I'm it's okay to feel like you're not okay sometimes, and so not to fall into shame or despair with that thought, knowing everybody else around you is feeling some sort of an impact, or there's a collective amount of grief um, for a variety of things that people are experiencing. So you are not alone in what you're feeling. And just knowing that really brings you a little bit more peace that you're not the only one suffering whatever you're experiencing.
Right. And that's so important. I liked what you said, just first communicate, communicate with others and communicating with yourself, knowing that you have to answer your own needs. And I think sometimes for me, it's like I have to even write it down, if I'm by
Mhm.
myself, just be like, I need this and I need that, and then kind of address it. So you're not kind of just lost in your thoughts, but that's okay. Like you said, I mean, just to answer those needs and to just work on them slowly. So what's the balance like, balancing your marriage, your work, parenting, what are the coping methods that you use to establish those separations?
Well, the biggest thing that I could say that I've been struggling with is finding my own mental satisfaction. So, giving myself those boosts of encouragement, trying to release the serotonin and dopamine from myself by saying kind things to myself. So, we've been doing a lot of work on self compassion versus self esteem lately. So, we've been really pulling from Dr. Kristen Neff. We spent at least 3 weeks just going in her material, And it's really been doing a lot for us, trying to challenge our self-critic, figuring out how you speak to your friend when they're in distress, and trying to apply that warmth and compassion to yourself. Um, Also, with something that we talk about in mothers and babies is the power of your thoughts and how it connects to your mood, and then how your output, your actions are all related. So that's that cognitive behavioral therapy piece with um, really understanding when that negative self-talk happens, how to check it, change it, and not base your actions upon your mood, and how you have the power to change that, and how to recognize those things when they're coming on.
Right. That's so important. And I love that you said, just being nice to yourself. I mean, that's so important. And
We're
it's,
spending so much more time with ourselves and our
yeah.
thoughts. It's beneficial if there's something positive.
Exactly. And that really speaks to me because sometimes, it's easy to beat yourself up, if you didn't
Yeah,
meet that deadline or you didn't get the chores that you needed to get done. So, just taking the moment to, just be like, it's okay, it's fine. We can keep working on it and the day will move forward. So,
exactly.
what are some tips that you have for working moms right now? Maybe a little bit of tips on how to separate the work from the parenting mode and whatever else you do at home.
Well, I definitely had to Google it myself at one point to see, how can I increase productivity while being home with an 8-month-old, and learn, feeding myself, feeding him, keeping us both alive, and meeting deadlines. So the number one thing was prioritize your schedule. Nap times are huge. Trying to really focus on when you get those nap times, when your child has schoolwork or whatever they can do separate, um, making sure you plug in for at least 10 or 20 minutes, and try to zone in when you can, when you have the least amount of distractions. Um, Another thing that I was really fighting was a routine or a schedule. Struggling with anxiety and depression that sometimes kind of looks like ADHD. I have a very hard time actually measuring how much time it takes me to do a task realistically. So my measurement of time can be off, and I was really dreading, am I going to be able to keep up with this new routine? And why bother trying? So that whole why bother mentality came on. But I noticed once I finally did, we've been sleep training, so that has forced me into coming to some kind of a routine. And it's actually been very helpful to know kind of what to expect in that order at these certain times. So that's brought me a lot of peace. And as I mentioned, with the self-compassion is really, this is so huge, especially for moms. And this is something that I'm still implementing, is setting realistic expectations for yourself. So understanding that this quarantine is not necessarily a vacation. Your lives have abruptly changed, your finances, your home life, your work life. So offering yourself grace, knowing that um, this a moment, this could be a moment of stress at some point, and this is back to the self-compassion, recognizing that this is stressful, that this might hurt. And she really emphasizes, putting your hand over your heart, and so that tactile touch, releasing oxytocin, trying to be establish those kind moods and thoughts. From there, realizing that this is a human condition right now, and with that, saying, giving yourself what you need to hear in that moment, what you'd need a friend to tell you. So telling yourself that I'm doing the best that I possibly can in this moment with the energy that I have right now. I'm feeling this way, and it's okay. If I couldn't finish everything on my list today, I'm not a bad person. I'm human, and I'm tired, and I'm still worthy of appreciation and value.
Mhm.
So reminding yourself, giving yourself those reminders, or even putting sticky notes with these quotes and affirmations can be really helpful when you need that extra push.
Wow. Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. I have some sticky notes. I might even do that, just leave yourself kind notes around the house,
Yes.
just to remind yourself that, it's okay to feel the way that you feel and, just to give yourself some compassion. So, I think some great things that you gave us some advice on is just the communication with others around you, and communication with yourself, which is so important.
Mm-hmm.
The self-compassion, routine, and it's okay that if you don't have that routine spot on, that routine grows, and you can adjust it as needed as
Right.
time goes on, and with the new things that come up as time goes by, because we know every single day it seems like things are changing, and things are a little bit more different than what we're used to, but we can adjust that routine. So
Right.
thank you so much, Nikita. I really appreciate your time and hearing a little bit uh, about what you do and how you cope with those changes and those roles in your life. So thank you so much.
My pleasure, Megan. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for hearing me out.
Well, thanks everyone for listening. I hope you give us a subscribe and a like and a comment of what you're thinking. Thanks, guys.